It is peony season for just a couple of short weeks. These absolutely gorgeous blooms are going to be taking front and center in all sorts of flower shops and Pinterest and social media, and we should definitely paint them. We are going to start out today by just painting a really simple bud. We're going to use two colors. You want to have a cold green and a beautiful pink. And we're just going to do a really lovely water sketch of a peony that's not quite opened up. If you have a fresh peony, definitely use that as your model, or you can use the one that I have. But I hope you really enjoy today's painting, and happy peony season. Hi everyone. Well, as you can see, we are painting peonies today. We are in peony season, which does not last long, so we have to take advantage of it while it's here. I'm Melissa with The Creative Season. I'm so glad you're joining me today, and I just want to show you this beautiful peony that we're painting. You can see it's not open quite yet, and I thought it would be fun to paint it while it's not. It's just, and it's unfolding. It's unveiling of its absolute beauty. So I've sketched out a very nice sketch here, just very light. I have not included all the leaves. We're going to use two colors, green and pink, and we're going to go ahead, and I'm actually going to start doing a little bit of the background first. So I'm going to do just a light pink wash around, and if that feels too much to you, just add some water. But I'm going to do this wash first, and just really light. We're doing a watercolor sketch today, so we're not doing tons of detail. This is one of our 15-minute projects that I love to do every week. It's a wonderful way for me to continue with the practice of painting. Sometimes if it's a huge project, there's so many reasons to not do it. However, with 15 minutes, we could always find 15 minutes, right? There's not a lot of reason to not continue to have the wonderful practice of painting, of just being still for a couple of minutes. I have a cup of hot tea with me. I don't know if you can hear the birds outside, but they are singing furiously. They are just so filled with joy. It's gotten a little bit warmer here, and they are just reveling in it. So I'm going to do, again, a light wash. If you want to go deeper with me in peonies, I am going to be releasing a Peony Portrait Class where we are going to go in depth with these gorgeous flowers, and we're going to paint them from their initial bud stage when they're all closed, and then go through a couple of days of painting them unfolding. And peonies are a challenge, but it's fun to have a challenge. They have just all these ruffles and layers, and we're going to paint some of those layers today. So you can see right here with the flower, even you can see how it's tighter up at the top, and you can even see how the petals are starting to come undone. And I'm going to come in a little bit closer. You can see right here as well, this one in particular is really unfolding down, and the little green in here as the buds begin to, or the petals begin to unfold. So let me get it back to where it was, right like that. And I'm going to go ahead and start dropping pink. We're basically using pink and green. You want a cold green, like a hooker's green today as well. And how I'm going to show the changes in the petals is I'm going to leave some white spaces. Creating those lines with the micron pen absolutely helps. I'm also remembering that watercolor, it always dries lighter, and if I want to create a depth, I can add another layer of paint. So we'll add our first layers in here. Now we do have to be careful because pink and green, I'm going to come in closer, create brown. So that's our one big challenge, is to not create brown when I end up needing to cover up some of the, or create some of those variations of the green unfolding with the pink. So we're going to again move through this beautiful flower. I am going to have some green in this bud over here, and in this one is mostly green except for some pink at the end. I'm going to go up with this one, and I see, I'll bring this over a bit so you can see it as well. I see some almost lines, and so I'm just going to create that too. I'm working on painting what I see, not what my brain thinks is there. I'm going to pick up another layer of pink and add some depth right over here by just adding more color. And in here as well, I can see it a little bit deeper, and over here. And peonies are so beautiful in the way they just unfold like a big ballerina skirt, right? It's just gorgeous. So I've let that initial layer of pink go there. I'm going to grab some of that green now. I'm going to go ahead and then start taking my green, and first of all, with this guy, this little leaf over here, I'm going to create that nice pointy edge. I'm going to come down. We could add a little bit of yellow, but we're not going to today. We are going to let the green and the pink mix just a little bit because you can see some brown spots on the stem. So we're going to just create that coloring by adding a little pink, and we'll do that in just a second. I really want to give the pink and the petals a little bit of time to dry so that when I add the green, we don't turn to mud on the petals, because that just would be no good. So over here, you can see too, I had actually plucked off some of my excess leaves. There, I just didn't want all those leaves on, and then when I put them in the vase, it was so leafy. So I took some of the leaves off, and that way I can just have less leaves too when I paint. And you can even do this, just with your imagination too when you paint. We don't have to include all of our leaves, everything that we see. So if it feels like it's just way too leafy, don't include all the leaves on your sketch. I was out walking and I went by a garden shop and they had a huge vase of peonies. I think there must have been, gosh, maybe 25 peonies, and I think they had taken most of the leaves off, so it was just basically, maybe it was more, maybe it was 30 or 40 blooms. It was just all blooms, and that is just a stunning look as well. But I do like the look of the peony leaves. They're just beautiful. They're very leafy. They're very bold. They almost have the same boldness as the peony does. The petals do, that just robust energy. So now what I'm going to do too is I'm going to take just a little bit of the pink, rinse off your brush, maybe even grab another brush, pick up that pink, and start adding a little bit of pink, like where those stems meet, and you can see a bit of the brown. I can see that where the stems meet over here. And then what I'm going to do, if you can see kind of in here is where I'm really seeing that. Right in, let me pull this back a little bit more. Sorry about that. You can see that brown right in here especially. I've got some brown in there, over here. So again, just being cognizant of the different variations of our coloring in here. I'm then going to go back to my green and then just come back over. And you can see where that turns into a darker color. And if you lose it all underneath the green, it just looks back really dark green. Just grab some pink and just add in some more color there. I'm going to go up a little bit like that, and then pick up some more green and create darker leaves as well. So I'm going to come back over here and create my darker edges and centers on those leaves. So now we're really starting to create some depth by including that second round of paint, right? I'm going to come over here with this petal. This leaf is in shadow as well. It's just a darker leaf. I'm going to pull some of that pink up to create that brown. I'm even going to add just a little bit of pink right in here to create the darker shade, and then move it all the way down the stem, and then you can use it as well on this last leaf right here. And remember, we leave lots of white space. I'm going to come back in again so you can see that a little bit closer. Okay, now I'm going to come up and add in some of that green and the actual flower, and it's going to be a lighter green. So over here, for example, I'm just going to put a lighter bit of green in here. And yep, it's going to turn a little bit to brown. That's okay. In here, because you can definitely see that petal that's about to unfold. It was almost that protective green petal. Just over there. So it's not a ton. A little bit more, because that really was green over here. And down here as well, I've got some green in here. Okay, and that's really all the green that I'm going to use in the flower. I'm going to come back up here with the pink, and I'm going to add just a little bit more to those areas where I can really see it popping with bright color. And it really is just about to unfurl. It looks beautiful. Okay, and then I'm going to let the whole thing dry. Now, what I can do too as well is I can always come back and darken the area around here as well. If I want, I could add some splattering as well. We've actually only been painting for not even quite 10 minutes, which is kind of amazing, right? We did that flower very quickly. Now we are coming up to Mother's Day. It's also the month of my best friend's birthday, my sister-in-law's birthday. So you could also create this into a card and maybe write a note and frame it, or just include it in the mail would be a lovely picture. Here's another one that I have done. So if you also have a portrait that's coming out and it ended up getting a little bit waterlogged in here, what you can do with the micron pen, just let me bring the book over here, is you can actually come back over. Let me just show you right how I'm going to do this, is go ahead and just take that pen and then start adding in those details. Just clean it up a little bit with your pen. And then what you can do as well is you can add in some more paint layers if you want to. But I often come back and just come back through with my pen, add in even the distinct layers of the stems and of the leaves, and add in details. This one was a little bit curved, so you can do that as well after it dries though, because when it's wet we will ruin the micron pens. But this is lovely. It's a beautiful, beautiful peony, and I encourage you, if you have peonies, to paint them as they continue to unfold. Paint it every single day, and then you'll have a series of beautiful paintings, which is what we're going to be doing in our Paint a Portrait Peony class. So make sure to sign up for that, and that link will be below. All right, have a beautiful